that cute? So though I couldn't find a lot at Goodwill, I have a combination here. Goodwill and another thrift store. Look at that, hearts. Oh my goodness, how yummy is that? Cubby with hidden. But I'm not sure about the door yet, because I think people would like to see their yummies, but these are nice. And then candlesticks. I haven't done a pair of candlesticks in a long time. And then this beautiful handmade riser piece. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I was super excited about that piece. Well, I hope you're here because you like to paint stuff, make stuff over, give stuff a second chance in life, and just make your own home decor if you're not a reseller. So this, hearts are trending. Grandma Core's in. Though it's got some like, okay, so I don't know if you really need the little twisty knob at all. But the back is just like MDF board stuff that doesn't paint well. It's missing, like it's got a groove there. I don't know what would went on top of it. So I'm gonna remove the back, and then yeah, I'm gonna paint over those hearts. Paint it, give it a color. Isn't that funny? Years ago, we would have been taking those hearts off, filling them in with something else, but now we're showing off the heart. So first of all, let's see if we can get this back off. Since the staples are up here, I didn't think it would be too awful hard. They're not really in anything. And then we'll just remove the staples. So I paid $8.28 for this piece. As you see, it has this little lip here that's missing something. And I went into our wood scrap actually, and look at that. Is that not like a little God Week moment? Hey, there's a piece that will fit. You much rather, I mean, I can probably sand it smooth, but you rather it raise up than go under. I just have some Type Bond Quick and Thick. And I'm not going to overthink this because I'm going to make it look rustic anyway. Rustic with a Grandma Core type. Nails to hold it in place. Is it an exact match? No, but much better than nothing being there. So that'll hold it in place. Get my extra glue. So super shiny. I'm going to go ahead and start to sand it. I don't know. It is kind of cute, but I just don't know if I can make another one. If it's out of my skill set or not, but we'll find out. I was determined not to take these off, but I think I'm going to. Of course they're tiny. They're tiny. Well, these two have big old screws in them when I got to noticing that, so might as well just paint it without them on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace them. Like I said, I wanted to paint this with it on, so I'm going to use some CA glue. Let me give this a little sanding though. So I'm just going to put some CA glue, or attempt to put some CA glue into the holes. And then these are just toothpicks. And you just stick the toothpicks in the hole. And that fills up those little holes. And then we'll cut those off. And then that'll give me a new hole to drill in some new screws. So I'll get that sanded down. So then that fills in the holes. And then I can, like I said, I wanted to paint this while it was on. And that I tried to find as tiny of screws as I could. that we have in our stash. And then just replace. Now I'm just going to wash it down with some Dawn dish soap and some warm water. Tried my best to get, I got quite a bit of that top coat off, but that's okay. You know, I'm always looking for some chippy paint anyway, so. Well, why not? I have them, and it gives it that beadboard type of look. And it's really easy, other than cutting them down. I'm not going to attach them though. I'm going to paint them first because it'll be easier to, I'm going to do a two-tone look on this, so it'll be easier to paint them separately. I just need to get the measurement of one to know where to cut it. And then from there, I'm going to go a little bit, maybe a little bit darker. So I'm going to do basil and olive. Basil's pretty dark. And as I said, I'm going to do kind of two-tone. So like, I think the doors are going to be white. The back will be white, and then the body will be this green color. I always have so much fun mixing the colors. Yeah, I think I like that. We never use Sweet Pickins milk paint. It is a powder paint, as you saw, and then you just mix with this is just room temperature tap water. And then the directions say equal parts, but I like to make mine a little bit thicker so I get some chippiness. And I find that the basil color, the darker the color, the more they set up, the thicker they get. So a little bit, so I did equal parts on this one, but it'll thicken up. So you stir until you get it all incorporated, and then just set it off to the side because it will thicken up even more. Even sometimes when you're working with it, it thickens up, so I keep a water bottle handy. I want to do a chipped aged look. I'm not going to seal this in with any primer or anything like that. I'm actually going to cover it with Sweet Pickins beeswax. Look at how pretty those bees are. It only looks like that when it's new. So you could use candle wax too. I really like the beeswax. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to rub it on the whole item. And that's going to act like a barrier to the paint. Pretty color. And then we'll just see what that wax does. For the doors in the back, I'm going to go ahead and do flour sack, just a nice white. I don't think it'll take too awful much, but I have to do both sides of the doors. That's when I decided, I'm like, oh, I'm painting them a different color. I probably should take them off. Now for the doors, I want to remember to do the same thing. I want, see if we can get it chippy or not. Like I can get it to crackle and stuff like that, but I'm looking to have some big chips. I did a piece last week. If you saw that, the sanitizing apothecary. I'm like, oh, I can't get rid of that. that may have stayed in my house, y'all. So I'm not going to try. I'm going to, like the beadboard look. I'm not even going to attempt to try to make that chippy, but the rest of it I will. Oh, look at that. See what I meant? Like sometimes it just, sometimes it just thickens up. So I need to add, that is way too thick. But it's surprising what a little bit of water will do. Just freshen that back up. It's all good. We'll just give it a try. I want to do the hardware though. Like I said, see how it's thick, so I should only have to do one coat because it's going to take a while for that coat to dry. Chances are my boards are going to stick to my board, but that's okay. Stirred up. I had to add more. It's just, for some reason today, it just wants to stay thick. Well, there you'll have that. Flip the hearts around to do the other side, and now this is dry, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to rub off whatever's not going to stick, and then I'm going to put one more coat to really give it that chippy, layered look. One is good, two can even be better, right? Before putting my next layer of wax on and paint, I'm going to go ahead and spray the whole thing with shellac. That'll seal this one in so then that one doesn't chip off when I'm putting the next coat on. I made up a second batch. If it doesn't match, even better, but try to remember what you did previously, you know, y'all. All over. And I'll go in with that second coat. Like I said, if you know, I don't mind. I mean, I still got the same ratio maybe, but sometimes it just mixes up different. I guess you could completely mix it up different if you wanted to also. Oh, look at all that going on. I'm going to seal it in with weather defense, and then we will sand it and then see what it looks like. Okay, so what looks like a hot mess. Let's see what we have. So now I have some aging wax. I'm just going to go over the top of it before starting to put everything back together. I'm going to wipe that on. Wipe that off. And then I'm going to take some more of Fusion's clear wax and just kind of blend it in. I just want that darker to go into the cracks and crevices. See, like right there. There are little hearts. Let's see how those sand. I think. Oh. I did seal these also in with the weather defense, but I don't want to darken them. So I'm just going to give them a final coat of the clear wax. Time to get together. So I have to start off with one of the smaller pieces. And I'm going to actually use some CA glue rather than wood glue, only because I'm going to be stapling them in there. And I don't want the wood glue to get on the new that I already painted. I'm not sure if my paint sticks expanded or what, because that hit. There you go. It's all good. So I cut 2 little pieces of wood from some salvaged wood that we have to make another one. I'm not going to round the edges off, but I am going to do a little countersinking hole. candlesticks. Black candlesticks. Resin candlesticks, not wooden, probably hollow. And I'd like to get them to be a chippy look. Okay, I'm going to do a little, see if I can sand a little bit. Just a little. I don't want to take it all down because I want it to have an aged look. Sometimes you just don't know what will create a whole bunch of dust. Who would have thought my hands are going to turn black just from doing. That's okay. I'm just going to wipe them down with some rubbing alcohol. That'll get the rest of that off. It might even act as a stripper a little bit, because did you know you can use, as a light stripper, you could actually use rubbing alcohol. But I just want to make sure all that powder's off there. So I'm just going to use the brush on shellac to give them a good healthy coat to help paint stick to them. And then it's not going to change the color because it's clear. Something about a white candlestick, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mix up some more flour sack to paint the candlesticks. I like that they're black, so hopefully the black shows through the chippiness, crackly. I'm not sure if I'll get any chipping. You never know. I do a really light, like hardly touch my brush, so I'm not rubbing the paint off. Just getting it to be on there. Looks like you got a little bit of cracking chippiness going on here. You never know, but the rest of it held up pretty good, so I'm going to seal these in with some weather defense. So it's one of those, whatever chips off, chips off. I'm just going to take some 220 sandpaper. It's not like you're going to go back and super glue anything. it's just how it'll be. I'm going to finish the bottom of these up by doing some clear wax. I'll just make them feel all nice. But I think I'm going to put pieces of wood at the top of them. A lot of people like to use their candlesticks as risers to put things on. So it gives you a little bit bigger surface area. And then you don't have to deal with that lip. For attaching them, though, I'm going to use some watered down Waverly antiquing wax with a little bit of black ink chalk paint in there, just to give them a little bit of a look, because it is just unfinished raw wood. So just some tight bond, quick and thick, and just around that lip. Just using the paintbrush because I'm waiting for my new order to come in, so it doesn't squeeze out very easy right now. So you know what? We use what we have. Good way to use it up. And if you need a little friend to help you out, then there you go. cool piece. Goodwill thought it was really cool for $9.29. But I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take the door off because I think people love space to display their stuff. You already got some cute little drawers. It's not anything. It's probably I'm guessing 80s maybe. You know, the little reproduction primitive. So let me see if I can get a little screwdriver to take those off. I'm going to change out the knobs. Not an easy angle to get to, that's for sure. And they are so little. And then you're like, please don't be stripped. Please don't be stripped. Because a lot of times these little cheap hinges, all you're doing is, all I'm doing is nothing. I'm not doing anything. So I'm not saving it. So just need to see. That's just how it goes sometimes. There we go. It's like crazy. They just spin round and round and then you can't get them to release. Oh, I do like the topper, but apparently in the ruckus of it all, it came off. But it is weird that it sits all the way up here. I might reattach it so it sits in the back. Here's one other one. My little prayers. Don't be stripped. Don't be stripped. Oh. And I need to see if I can. Usually these will just pop out. Yep, that they will. So I don't know why they had this sitting out. You couldn't put any more of your yummies on it if you wanted to. So I'm going to have to cut these little knobbies off. I'm just going to take it over to the bandsaw, fill in the hole, and then we'll glue this on here. The ending, so when my glue is bonding, it'll bond. It'll get into there. Okay, a little tight bond, quick and thick. Though I'm at the end of my bottle, I have some on order. Doesn't necessarily like the dispenser. Ooh, okay. When it wants to come out, it wants to come out, right? So I'm just going to... And that's what I was afraid of. It broke it. Story of my life. They just have so much power sometimes that's okay. That's what CA glue is for. I got some wood glue. I got some CA glue. We're painting it anyway. The other side, that's for sure. Just get the excess glue off and just let it sit, let it set up. I'm going to mix up a little bit of Bondo just where I took those hinges off. I kind of destroyed the wood just a little bit. If they would have just been the holes, I would have used some air dry clay, but and then these I'm going to be replacing the knobs anyway, so I'll just drill a hole all the way through when it comes to that time. But I do have the holes on the top here too that I should fill in from where that was the original top was. Why it was all the way to the front, I don't understand that, but I thought when I was bondoing it, just to make sure, I wanted to make sure that that top did not come off at all. Luckily that's not super shiny. I'm just going to wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol and then shellac it, because not very easy areas to get into, but I'm taping off these little drawers. It's just really hard to get back into that area. Then it's really thin, lightweight wood, so I don't want to wet it too much with a whole bunch of water. So I'm going to go heirloom blue. Just don't think I could sand very well in these very tight cubby spaces. But definitely just want to update the green and not necessarily be too chippy. So I decided to do picket fonts on the little drawers. After getting it done, I'm like, I don't think I like it to be that wood color next to that blue. Sometimes you gotta get the one color done and then visualize what your next color could be. Or I could have painted the drawers the same, but I thought it would be fun. I do want to sand a little bit, but I'm just going to use steel wool because anything stronger than that, I don't want to distress it. I just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Still waiting for my little drawers because they took 4 coats of white, but I have this number 46 that I thought would be perfect up there. Now I've tried to drill before. I don't want to split the wood, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit tight bond the quick and thick, and then get some small little black screws. First time, I don't like my little porcelain knobs on that white. I don't think that looks very good. I do have these little brass, little brass, antique brass that I think I'm going to do black. So just a little spray paint of black, and I'll have to seal in with some weather defense, but nah, the white did not go with that white. I thought this was a very amazing find. It reminds me of my center island. Salvaged wood. It's there. We just need to help it some more. Oh my gosh. So $5.29. Oh, I'm so excited about this piece. Though I'm going to go through and sand it. I'm going to try to round the edges a little bit more and see what we can come up with. So, oh yeah, I'm able to get that rounded other than being squared. So like if it was an older salvage piece, it would have been touched and rolled over time. My piece on my island's like that, so it just has a smoother feeling when you go to grip it. It feels old. I just like to make things be old. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to do a little lip down here too, and then see what we get. Okay, we got a few of the staples hanging, so I need to try to hammer those in. I'm not positive what my island one is, but I do think it probably has a good base of in a pickle. So that's what I'm going to start off with. And then to lighten it a little bit, I think I'm going to do a little bit of old olive. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm kind of going to let the paint do whatever the paint does. I'm not going to seal it in. If it soaks in, if it chips, crackies, whatever it wants to do. Okay, I'm going to try to flip it over. Didn't do the bottom of the feet. There you go. Whew. Or the sides, luckily. And this is, basil tends to be on the thicker side, so when I use it, but that's okay, because I'm just hoping just to get character with the one coat. Gonna do a little weather defense. Seal that milk paint in. I wondered if when I didn't seal it in with anything, what would happen. And that's what would happen. It didn't even, it's like, no. But that's okay, because we want it to look like salvaged. So like that's whatever that other paint was, it lifted that off. That's fine. So now I'm just going to sand it a little bit, give it a little bit more age, but I love it. And it's so hard because you want it to chip off, and then when it does, you're like, oh my gosh, it chipped off. Well, that's what you're hoping for. I get all nervous every time too. I have to decide, is that too much chippiness? So before I seal it in, I have to decide that. Do I want to put another coat on it like I did the little heart cabinet? Seal this, maybe just the top, because look at the rest of it. But I like how, but yeah, so wherever that paint was, it just chipped it off. So I kind of thought that it might, but I didn't know. You just never know how much is going to chip it off. So I might go ahead, just do a spray of shellac on here and do another coat so it's not so much wood. Okay, well, we're not completely chipping off, so that's good. I'm still going to sand it. Look at the amazing crackle on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and seal it in with some weather defense before sanding. I think I'm going to do black on top of this, the Jolie's black wax. Like where the two didn't want to play with each other. And then a little bit of the wood came through when I was sanding. I think, yes, yep. Black is the choice. Okay, now I got some clear. Thing I know will be really good is when I do this. Covering up that unfinished leg. So thank you for hanging with me as I got to paint stuff, going into the thrift stores, seeing what's on the shelves. Goodwill doesn't always have stuff that I'm inspired to make over, so good thing that, what is that called? Regency Thrift? I'm not sure, the other one in Marshall. I was glad because a few times I'd gone, I didn't find anything at that thrift store. So God wink moment that I found some items, and I hope I have inspired you to go and see what's in your stash. Go out there on the shelf, see what's out there, and get out there and paint something. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.